Where are you from, Sue?
I'm from New Zealand.
Oh.
That's why I have a ridiculous accent. I feel like you were a budding photographer. You weren't getting a lot of work, and you were also living in London.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're assisting some of the best photographers in the world. Two things has to happen. One of them is you have to believe, right, that you can go after that. And the other one would be there's no such thing as lucky breaks. So what do you believe about yourself, or did then, that launched you into their studios? Because I know that you're likable, because I like you, but what did you go through in your personal process of believing in yourself?
That's a good story. So I was sitting in my little hometown in England, and I have a friend who's an art dealer in Switzerland. It's not as glamorous as it sounds, it's just a dude that sells art. And we're sitting, and he says to me, he says, "Who do you really admire?" And I named 2 photographers, and he goes, "Right, so scrap the idea that there's a ladder." What? Yeah, like a ladder you climb on. Just go sit on their doorstep. And I looked at him like, "You're insane." And I got on a plane to go to Haiti. This was in 2009. And this is actually, me and Lara were talking online, and we'd never met, Lara Jade. And so I end up in Haiti twice and doing this charity project. And I was lying down in the tent. We had a tent by the runway of the Haiti International Airport. And I was working with orphans and shooting all this kind of third world stuff. And we'd been doing some fundraising. And then I was lying there, and I thought, you know, maybe my Swiss friend is right. Maybe I can sit on her doorstep. And I thought, maybe he was just being metaphorical. So I actually was on that floor, and I said, I have to go back to New York. I didn't have a flight booked out of Haiti. And the next day, I caught a medical transport back to, if you're in a disaster zone, that's kind of one of those things, you get a medical flight, back to Miami, and I got a flight to New York. And that night, I went for dinner with Lara. And she and we'd met, and we got along very well. She texted me the next day, and she goes, "Do you want to come with me to the studio of this photographer? I've got a meeting there, and I don't know how to get there." And I was like, yes. And to make a long story short, that text message that she sent me, in a way, set me on this path that changed my life. But and I think, you know, Sue, you're talking about this, it came from that change in my mindset, that the ladder doesn't exist, that that's a false statement. Anyone that tells you, oh, you need to work your way up really slowly, no, you got to reach for the stars. And that I could just approach and find a way. And I visualized it when I was lying on that tent with the tarantulas crawling on it, which actually happened, that I visualized it. And I am not soppy about visualization and all these things, but it is really true. And that's what happened.